Bo, what's up? How's it going? Sitting here taking a knife apart to take some measurements, and actually, I need to leave that pin in there. We'll put you right there. David, what's up? How's it going? Welcome in. I'd have to say that I do too. I better with how much money I've spent on them. Adventure 50, what's up? Welcome in. No way, did YouTube actually do something on Twitter? I haven't had this many people show up in a while. Okay, so we're taking measurements of this backspacer. 943, 942. What's up, Bo? How's it going? 942. 942. Swap over to inches. So 371. Or 942 inches. Appreciate that. The channel's been struggling lately. Having people show up is nice. Okay, so we write down. Yeah, let's not lose that. Kind of expensive. Spends a backspacer. Please, what? And it was 3.371. No, we'll go with millimeters because millimeters are a little bit more accurate. 9.42. That kind of depends. They're not super smooth. Well, they are kind of smooth, but they're not like 3.87. What are you wanting out of it? We'll start with that question. Damn it. So 3.88. And then the inner diameter. 473. But yeah, it heavily depends on what you want out of the knife. Double check. $73. Beautiful. Now we'll put it all back together. Greg, what's up? How's it going? Palmer, how's it going? So this is going to be a shorter stream than usual. I have to get up like way earlier than usual tomorrow morning. I'm writing down dimensions of this backspacer here because I want to make these backspacers out of glow-in-the-dark material and then sell them. Without a lathe, that's not going to be fun. Angel, what's up? How's it going? Congratulations. In today's economy, That's one of the biggest downsides of buying a Chris Reeve knife, is if you ever get rid of it, you're gonna want it back. It's kind of like getting rid of your first car. The downside is they're so uncommon at the moment that the minimum price you can get them for is like 600 bucks when they retail for less than that. Because the demand is there, it's just they haven't made enough to satisfy demand. These are actually pretty common. The Umnumzon's not. Umnumzon is a 6-year wait. Last time I checked. But that's for a custom. You can get production versions and they're cheaper. I'm going to try this with a bit of oil instead of grease and see how that goes. Every time I take this thing apart, it's like opening Pandora's box. A whole bunch of issues that it never had before start popping up. Yep, it's a 6-year waiting period on that. I think it's a 5-year waiting period on a Menandi right now. It's a good knife, but it's like a gentleman's knife, not something I'd expect to drop or to wait 5 years for. No, it's literally just not as smooth as it ever was. Right? You got to put their grease into it for it to be smooth, and I find that annoying. I'm trying to find a cheaper replacement, and it's just not happening at the moment. Everything else is perfect about the knife. I just want it to be smooth. You know, flickable smooth. Maybe I shouldn't say Pandora's box full of issues. It's Pandora's box full of minor inconveniences. Oil doesn't work. Good to know. Now let's see if I can push this thing back through. I like to flick mine open. And short of using that expensive ass grease that they send with it, I have not been able to get it as smooth as they do after I bring it in. Brand new out of the box, these both of mine have been garbage. Action was terrible when you're considering flicking. When you're talking about just regularly opening it like they intend you to, it's fine. So this is beyond regular use and more after want. I just want more. So time to try again. I'm trying whatever I can to use, again, cheaper materials for this thing to be as smooth as possible. And this is giving me great insight for my design, where we're doing a similar washer setup, and I've decided that I want less friction points, the least amount of friction possible. Oh, I know. I know what it was designed for. I don't know, it's some synthetic stuff from Harbor Freight. It works pretty well. It's the closest I've come to using their stuff without using their stuff. So I do stuff around food a decent chunk of time with these. So I try. Oh, that hurt. I try and use food safe materials as much as possible, just in case something happens where I drop it into some food, or um, maybe I didn't quite measure my cut right and the food gets shoved up in here. Something food safe. I've got red grease, I just don't want to use it for this. That's also a high temp grease. There's no way that I'm going to be getting or using it for its. You get what I'm talking about. Your name is Als Lucas. Well, the Nkosi isn't designed with a specific key factor in this thing. But continue. Oh, your name is also Lucas. Okay. Yeah, the Nkosi's designed different. When you take those apart, they don't have this bushing in the middle. Same with the Umnumzon, it doesn't have it either. The Sabenza has it, and it causes all sorts of fun experiences when putting them back together that I am oh so grateful for. I'm not doing a ball bearing mod on this thing. I'm happy with the maybe not happy with. I much prefer washers. And I'm pretty sure that voids the warranty. Um, the Nkosi has a travel stop too, and this does as well. You probably wouldn't pay much attention to it without understanding that that's why it's there. But it's the pocket clip. Chris, what's up? Welcome back. It is the same. I mean, it won't completely stop it, but it adds almost double the pressure of what it usually is once you hit that. So it's actually really hard to push past. Apparently one of the bigger changes between this Sebenza 31 and the 21s is the position of the pocket clip. If you can't tell anything else apart, then that'll give it away. But this pocket clip is sitting at an angle, and the 21s have a pocket clip that goes straight, the same as the Umnumzon. That as well, but 21 scales fit the 31, and I'm getting an aftermarket 21 scale to put on this. So that doesn't really apply. The two biggest giveaways would be the pocket clip at an angle and the ball bearing insert. Now, I'm not a Chris Reeve professional either. I only own 3. No, but this is a really nice pocket clip, by the way. I got a deep carry pocket clip with this knife, and when I bought it, and I went back to the stock clip because I liked it more. There's just something about that second retention point right there. This is where the hem of your pocket sits, and then this is where the rest of it sits. It is recessed, yes, but that shit's comfortable though. I like wire clips. They can be done pretty well. Deep carry wire clips are actually really nice. It fits in the pocket perfectly. Dude, this thing is just amazing. I just need to find out what kind of pocket clip design I'm going to be doing on my knife before anything else. Kilakino, welcome back. How's it going? I wear jogging pants, so I don't have the extra thickness from sweatpants. I'm sure if I was wearing sweatpants, I'd go with a deep carry clip. NGM, I don't think I've ever heard of them. Now that I have the measurements, I need to put this thing away, so give me just a minute. Beautiful. Oh, okay. I'm hearing about them more and more. Appreciate that, Kilakina. You have a great rest of your night. Should I be paying attention to them? Are they new or? Bo, welcome back. The mem clips are pretty cool looking, but $50 is a lot of money. Okay. Oh, dang. Lunch Northwest. I like Lunch Northwest. I could see that, but that's just not for me. If anything, I'm going with a deep carry clip from Lynch Northwest, the 2-piece flat top. Gravy Seal, welcome back. No, it's not 90. The one I've been looking at 60. It's a little bit more than the mem clip. Give it a sec to load. Oh, that's the V1. I want the V3. There we go. This. And they are 60. So if anything, I'd be getting one of these with the glass blasted finish to match my Sebenza. But short of this, I think I'm just going to keep the stock clip. I've got some backspacers that should be showing up this week. So that'll be cool. Again, the biggest downside of getting backspacers is that you got to take these things apart again. They pop out slightly more. Yeah. It's the long, flat backspacer that goes up to like right here. Bo, welcome back again. I did a little bit of digging. I just like how they look, and based off how they look, I bought them. So I got one that's sandblasted, and I got one that's lightning tie anodized. What I didn't realize and didn't even think about is that lightning tie wears off over time, and sandblast, I'm perfectly fine with sandblast wearing, but I completely agree. But the lightning tie, I don't want that to wear off, so I'll be putting that on the one that I don't carry. If everything goes according to plan, I'm going to go to bed early tonight, and then I'll get up early tomorrow, drop by the pawn shop, and I'll be buying a small Sebenza. I'm sure you guys are wondering how I'm able to afford all these things, on how much I make. And the reason is I sold 30 knives to afford it. And it's 40% off. Nice. I wouldn't mind having an Oz Roosevelt, but I'm not going to dump $1,000 into a knife when I need that $1,000 for coming out with my own design. It's expensive shit. I am employed. I'm just not allowed to talk about my job. And I don't make shit. And I'm not complaining when I say that. I'm just saying I can't talk about it. We'll see you later, Greg. You have a good one. In about an hour and a half, we'll probably end the stream, which is about 2 or 3 hours early. I guess I'm still seeing him go for 1,000. Or maybe I'm looking at the XL. I hate how close my design looks to the Chris Reeve and Cosi. However, I'm sure once I have it in hand, I won't give a shit anymore. I think you're new here. So you haven't seen pictures of the serif yet. I don't do Reddit stuff like Knife Swap. I don't like PayPal. So I won't do Knife Swap. PayPal has been terrible to me. So here's what I'm currently working on. It's roughly the same size as a large Sebenza. Same materials and everything as well. If everything goes according to plan, they'll be made by Millet in Nampa, Idaho, which is like 30 something miles from where I live. So that's just great right there. We got backside pictures too. And closed pictures. I've heard that twice now, which you're not far off. But that blade shape is supposed to prevent the edge from being pulled out of cardboard when cutting. And food. So that when you're cutting food on a plate, I know this sounds dumb, but it's what I use my knives the most for. It'll be the tip touching, so the tip is the part that goes dull, but the rest of the edge is still sharp when everything's all said and done. And you don't need to sharpen the tip. You can kind of just poke through things anyway. But the plan is MagnaCut at 63 to 64, titanium frame lock, and the Oz Machine Company hasn't gotten back to me about it, so hopefully it'll have the lock bar insert that they do for the Roosevelt with the 2 detent balls. I like that. I've never held it, but I know that that's smooth. So yeah, if everything goes according to plan, which it wasn't designed to be going after the Inkosi, it was just designed to be a nice knife. It should be smoother than these. Yep. I'm glad somebody gets where I'm going with this. I mean, I'm sure everybody else gets where I'm going with it too, but having another person fully explain how useful it is just the best. The downside is how much it's going to cost to have them made. And, you know, when people invest in stuff like this, they want to see a decent return. And for the first batch of 50, I'm not going to make much money. Welcome back, Bo. If they all sell the first batch, I will end up with, I think, a 10% profit for a $15,000 investment. No, 10 to 20%. It's not great. Oh, trust me, I know. I've been wanting this for a little while. Just coming up with the right design. I need to come up with I think I've got a name, thanks to Aiden, for the company, but I think I'll keep that quiet for now because I don't have the money to put into making an LLC or having a website made or anything like that. But on the second batch of 50, profit should be higher. So it all depends on if they all sell or not. So all of this, it just should be great. Yeah, I just hate electronics. I'll probably end up doing that anyway. I've got two Sebenzas and a Menandi at the moment. I've got drop point. I have an Insingo and just the regular Menandi. It sucks because I want my design now, but I don't have $15,000 yet. They're small if you ask me. I got mine for an insane deal, and I already have somebody who has it on hold because they want it, and I didn't. I bought it to turn around and sell it, so, and I already have somebody else lined up if that one doesn't go through. Hmm. They are like tiny, tiny. I don't know if you've ever seen one in person, but like small. Absolutely tiny for $500. And this one's in Makassar ebony. That's fair. I sold a lot of knives to be able to afford these things. Thank you. This thing's a lot smoother than the Sebenza, though. A lot less friction in the pivot because the washers are smaller. The washers on my design are pretty damn big, but they're all captive washers, so they don't move. Um, my Yeah, it's about the size of a Swiss Army knife. You're not wrong. But I've got a captive washer system in mine. So what happened on my first Sebenza was you'd sit there and flick it around, and then instead of the blade moving against the washer started moving against the inside of the scale. Caused excess wear in places that there didn't need to be. That sucks. Now, what I'd almost recommend, I don't know if they make left-handed versions of this, but if you're right-handed, buy the left-handed version. Oh, but why would I do that? That's dumb. Well, it's not. Because this cutout works great for pushing it out with your middle finger on the opposite side of what the lock is supposed to be on. So you can't do it on this side very easily, but you can do the pinch pull thing. Yeah, it is. They're small. Very small. size comparison. I hate it when people decide that your stuff is worth more to them than it is to you. Yes, it is. It is a great dress up knife. I mean, I think the Sebenza is too, but this is just more of that fits in a suit style. So this one's an S35, made in 2020. For a second there, I was going to say, boy, have I got the deal for you. And then I saw it said with the carbon inlays, and I was like, nope, never mind, I don't. There's a dude nearby trying to sell a Sebenza 21 plain in S35. I believe these are in Magna Cut now, yes. Well, S35 was the next step after S30V. I wasn't even born when S30V came out. Back in 2001. I'm sure that was a huge deal when that thing came out. And yes, I wrap these properly. March 10th, 2020. Ground Fog, what's up? He wanted 400, and I'd prefer to make a little bit of money in interactions. Let me find the listing real quick. Facebook Lite. Because Facebook takes up too much damn space. Yes, it is a unique experience, which is why. Oh, okay, it's not plain Jane. It's black micarta inlays, but it is used. According to the guy, it's got really, or it's barely been used, but black canvas micarta with the Insingo blade shape. S35VN. He wants 400. I'd like to talk him down a little bit. 400 isn't bad though. Gives you room to buy a new blade if you wanted. Oh, that's fun. Toxic, what's up? The large washer right here is the same washer that they use for the small washer on the Sebenza. Way to reuse stuff. I'd need payment up front for something like that because I don't have $400 to spend like that. On the off chance that you don't end up buying it, I don't want to be stuck with a knife that I'm not sure I can resell. And to me, making even $10 on something like that, I'd be happy with, but I saw one, a small Nkosi on Blade Binge for 350. It's got the DLC finish, but I'm not sure if it came like that from factory or if it was done aftermarket. There's a gun shop near me that closed down, but before they closed down, they had custom a set of like 10 custom Sebenzas with DLC coded scales that said I think it was stockpile defense on it, and yeah, they were lucky. They got some nice shit. Damn, that Mac 2 sold. Go figure. So this is the DLC Small and Cozy. Wish the dude would upload more pictures. But I think this is the bottom of the box. And I'm not sure if the guy's doing it on purpose, but the high-end custom models or semi-custom models use a blue box top instead of white. So you'll notice all the special edition ones that have like the frag pattern, the grenade frag pattern for the Umnumzon comes with a blue box top. But when you flip these over, the bottom of these is blue. So a little bit of a dent right there. They don't. You can, if you spend enough money, supposedly, then you can have them do it, but I have no clue who you'd have to talk to make that happen. Now, as I showed everybody on the last stream, the DLC's chipping in a few spots where it didn't take well. Would I buy it? I don't know, because they claim, okay, it's S45. I don't have much point in owning it. I don't know if they're custom jobs or not. The worst part about a Sebenza, when shit backs out. It actually does that pretty often. I don't know who Carl is. Mm. I'm sitting here like, who the hell is Carl? And why haven't I met him? Yeah, so DLC costs a decent chunk. I think it's like $5 or $6 a blade. But if you redo the scales too, every time that you redo that thing, it's going to be like $18. And that's a lot of money to have it done more than twice. Oh yeah, I know who Rec is. I thought about sending one of these over to him to have him done, but I decided not to. And the glass blasted finish they'll redo for free because you paid for it up front. These, both of mine came sandblasted when I got them, and I didn't like the sandblasted finish. So I went in, paid $50 and had them glass blast them, and then got them back and been happy ever since. Damn it, who is this Carl of which you speak? Squeak. Do any of you guys have Twitter? Or X? I'm gonna call it Twitter anyway. I've got a serious request for you if you do. Are you in Idaho? Northwest Knives has a, what was it, a Cold War gray or blue or something, and they've got a green that I don't like, but I don't remember them having a black one. Oh, that's interesting. I think the Glass Blast was supposed to hide scratches better than the stone or the whatever it was. Oh, if you re-blast it, it looks brand new every time. Both of mine looked brand new when I got. I was gonna ask if somebody could check my Twitter account and see if YouTube replied to the post that I made. Because it seems like we got more people in here than usual. Just, I don't know how the thing performs. Because as I've said before, the channel's been suffering lately. The moment I got monetized, the channel started dying. I'm gonna look this thing up. I was wondering if Chiefs here was from Idaho or not. Damn. Well, not surprised. Why would they reply to a small account like mine? Oh well. Yeah, they've got theirs in green, and I don't like green all that much. So, and no, I don't have anything from Kunwu. Cold War Gray, they have that as well. Nice. I've thought about it, but I'm starting to move more towards American made stuff. I'm not saying I wouldn't buy anything from China. I'm just saying I'm tired of everything I own being made in China. A good chunk of the stuff that I own is made in China, and some of it's made in Taiwan, but almost everything's from China. What to do, what to do. We got 40 minutes. Oh, yeah, I was supposed to sharpen a knife last night. Now, at least it's not a customer's knife and it's mine, so I don't have to worry a whole lot about being late. They probably won't. I've come to terms with the fact that YouTube doesn't give a shit, so I don't make them enough money for them to care. Be entertaining if they reply about a year from now, though. When the problem that they've created is already fixed, hopefully. Oh, damn it. I'm not that much of a turd. I buy to resell all the time, but I don't buy them for that low and then sell them for that much more. Just sharpening a knife at the moment and talking. What about you? What have you got going on? I have not. Should I have heard about them? An integral, huh? Wonder if the company I'm going with could make an integral. I mean, they're undercutting what prices I'd be doing. Oh, this one's an S45. Yes, but this isn't a Spyderco blade. It's an aftermarket blade in VG10. Are you looking into Spyderco or? See, the downside of companies like this, when they do things like this, and what do I mean by do things like this? It's $475 for the MagnaCut version, by the way. What size glove do you wear? And I'll tell you where you should start. In my opinion, where you should start. Yeah, that thing's $475, dude. That's not in the $300 range. This one, $475. They make them for $325 in S45VN, but not in MagnaCut. I've got a good 4 or 5 Spydercos. Yeah. Unfortunately, the whole Leatherman MagnaCut thing didn't work out very well. Overall, don't buy one of their folders. Those things are garbage. But yeah, what size glove do you wear? All I see is ISC 1944, so. I kind of feel bad for Leatherman. They took a step into the folding knife world from multi-tools and they just fell off into the deep end. And I think they figured that out pretty quick when none of their knives would sell. And the reason why they're not selling, by the way, if anybody from Leatherman is listening, you're selling. Oh, cool. You're selling a MagnaCut folder with steel scales for the price of a MagnaCut folder in titanium. Nobody wants that. They're heavy, they're bulky, and frankly, kind of ugly. Oh, and the button lock that you guys came up with sucks. I didn't buy one because I wasn't sure, but I looked into it, and after figuring out that they were made out of steel, I didn't want to waste my money on it. Then they popped up at my local Shields, and I got a hold of one, and I'm so glad I didn't buy one. One, I do it all by feel. Two, it's roughly 20 degrees, plus or minus 1 degree. It is leather, yes. I don't like that. It's not sharp enough. I use diamond emulsion. Comes in a little spray bottle. It's about $23 for this much, and make sure to shake it very well before use. Yes, they do make the salt series in MagnaCut, but I think the salt series is all black. Yep, no problem. You can buy that stuff on Blade Binge for $23. Supports a small business too. Really good stuff. I got fucked up on that mixture. Fun fact with most of these steels that I handle, once you get the initial bevel finished and you have a burr on both sides, moving up in grits is very quick. I'm pretty sure that the Salt series is DLC. I'm not 100% sure on that, but if it is, I'd go with a satin of some sort. You can get MagnaCut in satin for better, for less. Maybe not less, but you're going to want something with a proper heat treat. And something that's DLC coated probably isn't going to do it. So, when things are DLC coated, the way that the DLC coating process works is it's a particle vapor deposition or whatever what they call it, where they basically spray carbon onto the blade and then bake it on. And the temperatures that it reaches when baking the material on there tempers the blade and leaves it softer than it was before. So if they don't heat treat it with that in mind, which I don't think anybody does, then it ends up being softer than the satin counterparts. It's the same thing with Cerakote and just about every other black or colored blade coating. You'd be better off getting one that's just stonewash over coated. It'll scratch more in use when you're doing stuff that you probably shouldn't be doing, but you'll have better edge retention overall. And depending on the steel, quite possibly better corrosion resistance as well. It drops 1 to 2. Somewhere between 1 and 2. Like the Chavez Redención X-Locks in D2. CBRX did a video on that. Got one that was the black coated and one that was satin. And the black coated was, I think, 58 or 59 HRC. And the satin version was 61. That's a huge jump in edge retention just by not buying one that's coated. I want you guys to have good stuff, you know. I don't get any money based off telling you guys that one's better than the other. There's no benefit to me. It's just, if I didn't know, I would prefer to know. So this is a Para 3 build. Almost nothing on this thing's stock, including the blade. But yeah, the Para 3 is a great knife. It's one of my favorites. Actually, it is my favorite. Yeah, I got the black coated version. But I got it for free from a subscriber, and I greatly appreciate that. I think I would have preferred the satin one, but I've got one of those too. It's actually one of my favorites as well, like top 10. I forgot that I cleaned this thing and it's smoother now. Lately I've been carrying my Sebenza, so I still feel some resistance. This is what I've been carrying lately. Mine was fun to sharpen. My Manix 2. So I'm assuming yours is in S30V if yours is black. Mine's in 15V. It's not too heavy. It's not steel, it's titanium, so it's like 4.7 ounces, I think. It could be heavier. But I'm happy at its current weight, so. Oh, BD1. Okay. BD1N or BD1? Yeah, a 6-ounce knife is pretty up there in weight. Just BD1. Sounds like you got a base model. It's a solid knife, though. Base model or not, it's comfortable. I prefer my knives weighing 5 ounces or less. My local pawn shop had one in BD1N that had clear blue. Oh, so it wasn't, maybe it wasn't a base model, it was just old. A hollow ground Mannix. I don't think I've ever seen one of those. Interesting. What does that look like? Oh, that's weird. No, I'm looking at it right now. They are expensive. Here's one in 4V for 500 bucks on eBay. That's about what my military says on the back. That's a brutal realization right there. This thing's smoother than this one. Well, if you want to drop 500 bucks on it, go ahead. That is not for me. Not for 4V. I don't have that on this one, but I know which one you're talking about. I don't think you'd ever catch me finding or spending 300 bucks on a Benchmade. I'm about tired of their crap. 500, I agree, 500 is way too much for that thing. But there were only 400 made. Ooh. Well, if you want it, it's there. Yeah, it's weird that this one doesn't have any maker's mark on it. Anywhere. The price for the materials that you get, their prices are insane. About the only reasonably priced knife that they have is the Griptilian for 160. I still think it's a little bit high, but compared to their other stuff, this thing's reasonable. Or the Narrows that nobody asked for. Yeah, that's a maker's mark. They went from being the workers' class knife to being Ferrari. They literally do the same business practice as Ferrari, except they let anybody buy their knives. But you have to buy so many new knives from their website to get a chance to get one of their special edition knives that's literally just a different color. Yeah, it is dumb. Benchmade. There's a Benchmade special knife department or something. Give me a sec to look into it. Oh, that's fun. Special product division. So yeah, the Benchmade special product division. I need to look up their. Sure, I'm not saying that Benchmade makes bad knives. I've always said that they're just overpriced. Inverted, what's up? Yes, I see that you sent me a picture. I'll check here in a minute. You paid full MSRP for... Oh, a freak? Okay. Alright, we'll see you later, China Star. You have a good one. Here in about 10 minutes, we're going to end the stream. I'm ending it early so that I can go to the pawn shop early and get those knives that I need to get before somebody else decides that they want them more than I do. I've seen those things before. Those knife sharpener things. I don't think that I'll ever end up with one. Well, just keep in mind when you're buying an Adira that you're spending that much money on a knife with GFN scales. And I think partial liners. Let me double check that. Likewise, Inverted, you have a good one as well. God damn, their website's complicated. It takes so long to load. Yeah, I look forward to seeing it as well. Yeah. Way too damn much money. Yep. Partial liners. GFN scales. On washers. $250. And a subpar heat treat. Well, not subpar, but not to where it could be. I think it's kind of ugly. But it's ugly in the same way that Spydercos are ugly. Where, like, this is ugly as all hell, but it's comfortable. It fits the hand well. That's about what that's like. So yes, I completely agree with you on that. Sometime in January, I hope, I will have a Benchmade Osborne in S90V. Oh, I don't like how it looks at all. I'm sure it's fairly comfortable, but I'm super picky with my steels lately, and heat treat's a big deal to me. So 60 to 62 isn't good enough guarantee to me. 61 to 63 is better, or 63 to 64, 62 to 63. I'd be happy with that. I just want that higher guarantee. Kenny, what's up? Liquid Grin, welcome back. We're actually coming close to ending the stream here in about 7 minutes or so. I need to go to bed early tonight to get up early tomorrow and go to the pawn shop. Well, I don't have any Spydercos in MagnaCut either. I noticed. We got more people than usual tonight, though. Well, I got about 7 minutes until I end the stream, so if you wanted to stick around, you can. I was sharpening this, yep. I did some dumb shit with it. I chipped the edge, so I sharpened it out real quick. Para 3 build. There's no markings because it's not a ooh. Oh, but that's a small. It's not a factory blade. I'm thinking about selling them, but no, I think it's kind of dumb to just sell them like that. I need a set that are titanium because the aluminum gets too cold here in the winter. And I didn't know that until I already bought it. So I'll probably just swap it back over to G10 scales and then sell these ones. Titanium scales. The aluminum scales get too cold here. Yeah, they do. Yeah, the shiny shit is aluminum. Fair enough. They're not super grippy. No, I don't want to sell the blade. I just want to sell the scales. I bought and built this knife the way that it is so that it can be a heavy user. And it's not smooth like I want it to be, but it's good enough for a user. Yeah, just the scales. No, I like that idea. I like that idea so much. It's running on washers, yep. They're all OEM replacement parts. They're not factory, though. I think here real quick, I'll go ahead and swap it back over to the G10, and then... Yeah, I just don't want the aluminum scales anymore. I still have a few neck knives. Never carry them, though. You pile, let go. I forgot that I broke the splines off of that T6. Which means that I need to get the whole thing replaced. At least it's free and quick, so I'm not super worried about it, but it is kind of annoying. Just before I end the stream, can somebody do me a huge favor? Or not? Looking good. Nice. Holy shit, that's tight. as it was intended to be. So yeah, I guess I'll put these things up for sale. Like 25, 30, I don't know. Probably around 30. I bought them for 30, but my 30 includes shipping. And when I bought them, that didn't include shipping. Yeah, this is a pair of 3. Again, almost nothing on this thing's stock. And here's a PM2 next to a pair of 3. PM2 is a decent bit bigger. And then my personal PM2 versus my 2 pair of 3s. Now that's one of those things about these fakes, is they will never be as smooth as a real Spyderco. No matter how much I've tried, the tolerances on Spydercos are just better than the fakes. And the fake one cost me almost as much as a used real one, so just go buy a used real one. But as a hard user, this one will be fine. PM2 is probably in the top 10 for me. Anyway, guys, I think I'm going to go ahead and end it there. Went about 20 minutes over what I wanted to, and I need to be up early tomorrow, so today. So hopefully you guys have a great rest of your night, morning, day. Kenny, you have a great night. And we'll see you guys in the next one.